Hello, Sean. You all right?
You all right?
Just fluid and natural. Beautiful. As if we hadn't been talking about this prior to recording. Right, my man. So what I want to do is help build a little picture for people to understand where you were, where you are now, and everything that's kind of gone in between. So first and foremost, what I want to do is just ask you about kind of right at the beginning, what was it that you were actually struggling with?
When I first met you, I was really struggling with mental health, with confidence, my weight. The world was against us, I thought, at that point.
Tell us about that first kind of meeting, where you were, because I remember it quite well.
I met you in the Leafing Bean, obviously through my wife. I had about 15 pints on the Sunday, and I was eating 2 breakfasts, feeling very fat, but still stuck in a sausage in my mouth.
So when it came to your kind of mental health and your confidence issues, how was this like affecting your overall life?
I was down, no confidence, no eye contact with people, acting the class clown, idiot. Or if I was funny, I'd be right. Just wanted no self-worth. Basically scared of people's opinion of us.
What was your kind of concern about where you were and how this would affect you moving forward with the rest of your life?
I incorrectly thought it was, if I lost the weight, I would be fixed. Doing this program, working with yourself, I've worked out that it's got to be head, getting the computer side of it fixed first. Everything else goes organically. So I've now gone from not worrying about my weight as much to actually now being confident, mentally healthy, which is I think is the most important first step.
So tell us like a little bit about what you'd maybe tried to like do to kind of resolve this issue? Was there anything prior to you and I working together in the past?
I would go on binge diets and try to lose weight too quickly, and then when that never worked, go and have about 6 or 7 pints to make myself feel a bit better about it, and a kebab.
So there was a bit of like yo-yo dieting going on to help resolve where you were at.
And self-destruct, a lot of self-destruction in there.
How did this like kind of cycle make you feel?
I was consistently down, just constantly playing work, going, I hate my life, I hate this, I hate that, where just consumed by negativity constantly.
So when we met at the Leaf and Bean, which is a cafe, by the way, for people who don't have a clue what that is, what kind of, I know your wife introduced you to me. What made you kind of want to change?
After the short discussion with you, where you explained what you've done, where it's not all on losing weight, it's about having a healthier mind, healthier habits, healthier eating better fuel, but also not feeling that constricted to just having to eat. See, before everything I thought was complete opposite to what I've actually learned and what I'm the progress of doing.
Tell us a little bit about that. Like, what were your expectations from maybe working with someone like me versus the reality?
And in the reality, I thought you'd get us like David Beckham body or Ronaldo body, and but then obviously never really took into the mind aspect of it. I say I thought a quick fix on my body would make me feel amazing, which is not really because I've done it before where I went down and then I went straight back up.
Mm-hmm.
So now working with you, I've got my mind in the right place. I've got me pillars
Yeah.
in the right place, and I'm very just everything's in the right place. My mind, I'm mentally stronger now. I'm confident. I've got more self-esteem. Your body isn't where where I would like it to be, but it's not a big issue because everything else is in the right place, and that part will come naturally.
Would you say it was very much like more of an inside out approach, whereas previously you tried more of an outside in approach?
100% is, yeah, I think I've said it before. It's like my brain's a computer and it had loads of big viruses in it. So now I've had antivirus in my brain and now I'm seeing clearly and everything else is falling into place with it.
I love that analogy.
That's the only way I can think about it.
Like, not a lot, well, nobody knows this, but you have recently started a new business, like alongside with what we've been doing. So how do you feel this process has also affected you within that?
The business is probably a year ahead of itself by working with you on this program because I've had the ability now to go out where I couldn't talk to people before. Never had the confidence to introduce myself to new people. I've now got the confidence now to go and introduce, so I've made bigger connections and with suppliers, wholesalers, even customers, where before I wouldn't necessarily engage with a customer because I didn't have the confidence. Now I've got the same customers coming back in, talking with us and having a laugh with us. So it's just they're just like an extension of my business now in the respects that they know where I'm at, they're happy with my services, and that's only came through my self-confidence and my self-belief in myself.
We've talked a lot about within this program, like self-compassion and self-worth and you looking after yourself. Like, what areas of your life do you feel like you've really made positive steps in order to do that?
My mental strength, my mind now is I don't let the little things stress us. I don't get upset about the slightest things. I'm more organized. I'm more driven. Probably the most driven I've ever been in my life is I just want to get things done now where normally I would just put things off or put my head in the sand because I would just not want to face these things, where now I'm more confident, strong enough now to go and face these things head on.
To give people just a little bit of an idea of what it's like working with me, you know, from the very beginning when we weren't working together, just kind of meeting and interacting and having conversation, to starting to work with me and the program, what would your kind of feedback be about that? How was it? You know, how did you find the overall process?
It was excellent because you obviously people like me have got like preconceived ideas about what it's going to be and what and that's probably a little bit more scary than actually doing it itself, because you think to yourself, right, I'm going to have to do this, I'm going to have to cut out this, I'm going to have to cut out that, but then actually when you speak, you wouldn't be. No, you don't have to cut out things. It's more about understanding what you're doing. There's no, you don't get told off and sent in the corner if you eat the wrong stuff or you've had a few extra pints to what you should have, or it's more about learn and understand yourself. So that's what I find you've done for me is you've helped me unlock things I never knew was capable for myself. Like my mental strength, my confidence. I've unlocked a new beast, so to speak. It's confident and self-worth massive. I just see out loving life. I'm actually where I've always dreamed of being.
Would you say that was kind of the overall surprise then, that maybe like many thought that they were going to come into this process being told how to essentially live the life, whereas the way we've worked together is getting you to be in full control?
100%, because one of the things we started off with was you said, because you at the time I said I wanted to lose weight, so you were helping us out by seeing do a food diary, which never lasted very long, but has never been forced, or because you realise you've seen that that's gone from being my top priority of losing weight that it's very much on the bottom of my agenda now, in the respects of what this 12-week program's done for us is changed my perspective, my mind about how and what's important. So for me, my mind never came into it. It was always my body. So now my mind's took over. Now I'm body confident as well. That makes sense.
No, that's perfect, mate. And I think, you know, from beginning to where you are now, and I guess going beyond, you know, because the 12 weeks is designed to be the 12 weeks to get you into a position where, like, you've got autonomy, you've got freedom, you've got choice. So could you tell us a little bit like what your thoughts and feelings are going into the future and what that means for Sean and what's kind of on the horizon for you?
For me, I'm going to get this my business built up. I'm going to be on the golf course more holidays, and just so much. I've got so much more to look forward to. Better outlook, where instead of worrying about things now, I'm looking forward to doing things in the future. See, I've got the drive, I've got the motivation now. Just really looking forward to the future. I've got my plans all set in place. I've got a little notepad with me, what I want to achieve in 12 months.
Amazing. What would you say to anybody that maybe was in a similar situation to yourself that's like feeling a bit lost, a bit frustrated, not knowing what to do, not knowing where to start, who are maybe on the fence of like approaching someone like me? What would your advice be to them?
You've got to make sure that it's 100% what you want to do, and that you're 100% committed to it, because otherwise you're not going to get results what you want. Speaking to somebody like you, I think it's great because you can adapt things for each individual. So for me, you've changed things about. We've changed like some of the stuff that we've done, which more suited my personality. But for me, it's a no-brainer. If you want to move on with your life and be happy in your life, you need to get yourself sorted out by working with you.
Is this when you kind of realized that another diet and another um just another thing wasn't the solution, but you had to maybe like look a bit deeper inside yourself and to kind of unlock this beast as you kind of described?
You've got to open a whole can of worms, because before this, I would lock things away in compartments and then stew on it later. Where you've got to open up, be 100% honest, and then just embrace everything that everything that you want to do, because it's not have to, it's want to do. So I mean, I found working on the workshops and some of the like the projects that we've been doing, I found it really insightful. I found it interesting. I've learned more about myself in the last 12 weeks than I have in the last 40 odd years.
Amazing. And I guess like coming to the end of this program, would you say like it's been a viable investment?
Been a life-saving investment in specs that I could have just kept on burying my head, and I would never have enjoyed my life. I would have just went through life twisting and complaining and being upset about things, where now I've got a bright outlook. I'm looking forward to doing things. It's going to be a happier 20, 30 years ahead of us because of this program.
Do you mind if I say some nice things about you, Sean?
Wondering, as long as I don't try.
Yeah. We haven't had it yet, but we might just do it while we're recording. But yeah, I think like for me, Sean, like from that person I met at the Leaf and Bean Cafe, which was super hungover, having 2 full English breakfasts, to where you are now is just kind of really reiterates like why it is I do what I do, and seeing you kind of grow and flourish into the man you are today, who stands on his own 2 feet, who is confident, who looks people in the eye when he talks to them, who is now like this business owner who describes himself as being in the 5% club, because that's what we wanted. We needed to grow. And I think like the transformation that we set out to do has been achieved right here. And I just want to say like a huge thank you and a huge well done. It's been an absolute pleasure working with you for this period of time. before I end this recording, is there anything that you would like to add or say that you haven't already?
I'm just achieved my targets, I've exceeded them. I think for anybody who's in a position similar to what I was, I think it's an absolute no-brainer. The best investment you can do is in yourself. You've got to put yourself first, or you're no use to anybody else. So just go for it.
Well, I appreciate that, Sean, and there's been so many nuggets. So I just want to say a huge thank you. And for anybody that is interested in my help to just come approach us, have a conversation like Sean did, and kind of in the matter of a few months' time, you can be in a completely different headspace, which inevitably is going to last with you a complete lifetime, right?
My mind's, I'm just looking forward, I'm thriving. It's great. Moving it. Success. Success personally, business, and everything.
Thank you very much, man. Cheers.
Cheers.